Hello, Casey. Hello, Abby. I
Hi.
see you, Brooke. Brianna, I see your name. You're hiding from me. Oh, there you are. Hello, girlfriend. Look at your hair looking so good. I literally just got off the boat at the lake, so if I look like a ragamuffin, it's because I am. I was telling Raquel I'm out of breath because I literally ran up the hill and left my kids with my parents. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. So today is our third part of 4 of our new coach training. So each week we've kind of built on it and kind of highlighted a different piece of the most commonly used things that you're going to use in your coaching business fundamentally as you get started. Of course, we're going to be learning constantly, but these are kind of the things we want you to really pay attention to and focus on when you get started. But don't take anything too seriously. This should be fun. This is a learning process, and social media is what we're going to talk about today. Social media, if I had to pick one thing, would be what most of us as coaches are nervous about when we hop into this business. Because it feels like, oh my gosh, I'm putting myself out there in the World Wide Web. People are going to judge me. What are they going to think of me? And before we get started and kind of dive into best practices, I just want you to know this. Yes, there are absolutely going to be people that judge you. I'm just going to be honest and say that's true. I'm not going to come on here and say people aren't going to judge you, because they are. They're going to judge you on and off social media because people just do that. But let me tell you this, the people that are judging you, and if they have anything other to say than go on with your bad self, it's because they're in a dark place of their own. They've got their own issues going on. They've got their own insecurities happening. And so it's easier to reflect and to tear down someone else than it is to work inwardly. So don't ever let that stop you, because every single person on this call was somehow brought into this team because of social media, because the coach that you're working with overcame the fear of social media and posted anyway, because she knew there's somebody out there just like me who needs this as much as I do. And if I don't show up, she's not going to have this opportunity, and she's not going to have the chance to change her life, whether it's with health, fitness, or finances. So think about that girl instead of the person who you're worried about judging you. But today is all about tactical tips and how to make your social media not feel overwhelming and what to start with. Okay, is this me? Yes, it's me. Okay, so why social media in the first place? There's a lot of network marketing businesses out there. Not all of them use social media. Some of them are like in-home parties, that sort of thing. With our business, you can really build 99.9% of it without ever leaving your house. Of course you can. Like, hello, I'm at the lake today and I'm working. But you can take this job anywhere because you can build your platform on social media. You can find and network your people, whether they live in your same town, they live across the state, they live in the UK, they live in Canada, they live in the US. You can reach endless amounts of people. So sometimes you may feel like there's not enough people out there for me to sign up someone. There are literally millions of people at your fingertips on social media who are looking for exactly what you have. No kidding. I had someone sign up this morning who I saw her posting on social media randomly yesterday. She was posting and literally spelled it out and said, I'm looking for some way that I can work out at home, be held accountable, have help with meal plans, but I need to be able to do it at home because I have small kids. I was like, are you directly asking me for coaching? Because I feel like you are. I just reached out, I sent her a message, and I said, hey girl, I saw your post. I didn't comment on her thread. I went straight into her DMs, and I said, hey girl, I don't know, I just saw your post, and I want you to know that's exactly what I do. I don't know if you're open to it, but if you are, I'll send you some information. Super casual. But literally, there's so many people out there who are looking for exactly what we have, and it's our job to show up and make sure we're available whenever that happens. Because the first thing she did was say, thank you so much for messaging me. I just stalked your entire profile. I love the progress you've made on your postpartum body, and that makes me think I can do it too. No kidding, that's exactly what she said. If I had not shown up on social media in the weeks and months prior to that opportunity for me to reach out to her, she would have why would she trust me? She would see my social media, there would be nothing there. Why would she trust me? She went to my social media and saw, yes, in fact, she does do this. In fact, this is her lifestyle. She talks about it all the time. And she's showing she has a transformation because of it. So that's just kind of a little background of when you're thinking, why am I having to post on social media? Why is it important to be consistent? Because your page is your brand. Your page is your office. Your page is your storefront. Think about your favorite boutique in town. If their doors aren't open and you walk in and their presentation doesn't sell you on what you're looking for, you're going to walk out. If you walk into your favorite boutique and it has the cutest setup and their mannequins are just so, you look at it and you're like, I need that whole outfit. If you were to walk in and it smelled horrible and the lights were off and it was dingy and there was one stack of jeans in a corner, who would you be more likely to buy from? And that's what you really have to think about with your social media presence as you're building. This is through your stories and through your posts. And then the tips we're going to talk to you about today are going to be predominantly for Facebook and Instagram. There are other outlets for social media, but we build predominantly on Instagram and Facebook. You can do very similar things. You can connect your stories from Instagram to Facebook to make it more efficient. We can talk about that a little bit later. But in your stories and your posts, you want to think every day, am I adding value to those that are coming to my community? Whether they're coming because they want to be educated, they want to be entertained, or they want to be inspired. So every day you're doing a story or a post, how am I adding value? Am I educating them on ways to still eat the foods that you love, but also get really bomb results? Am I entertaining them with a funny story about how Corey stuffed a peanut butter jelly sandwich into my mattress and I found myself with a mattress full of fire ants? That entertains people in the sense that another parent who maybe has a crazy kid or has those crazy kid stories is like, yes, girl, I feel you on a deep level. Like I literally was like, cool. This is quarantine day 5,000 and today I have fire ants because my 6-year-old wanted to hide her peanut butter jelly. That is a way that has nothing to do with health, fitness, or coaching, but it's a way for me to relate with other moms because I know moms of small kids get that on a deep level. And they're like, my kid has done something like that and I feel you. Or maybe you're inspiring them. I'm posting my postpartum transformation to say, you know what? It's hard. I have 3 kids, but I'm able to do it, which means you can too. So every day when you come onto social media, have a purpose and know, how am I going to add value to those following me? Okay, let's dive in.
All right. So we're talking about how do you build a brand from scratch? So again, you are your brand, just like Jessica said. Yes, we've aligned with the #1 health and fitness company in the world, but I am not Beachbody and you aren't either, right? So you are your own brand. I am Raquel McAfee. So when we tell you how do you build a brand, we want you to share your life and what you love and what you enjoy and who you are and where you are on your journey. And of course, you're aligned with Beachbody. That's part of us. That's part of our lifestyle. But we want you to be authentic to you because authenticity creates trust. When you try to copy, you see other people, and while that's great, and it's like, oh, I really admire, I love how they do that, I love how they talked about that there, imitation falls flat. I could take a post that Jessica did and it might have done great. It might have had a bunch of comments and likes and engagement, and a lot of people would have loved it, right? And I could take that same post and recreate it, make the same picture, maybe take the same caption, and it would fall flat. Why? Because it's not authentic to me. You'll see, we both post very differently on social media. We post to how we are and what's authentic to us. So we want you to know there's no right or wrong way, and it's going to take a little bit of time to find your voice. If you want to look back, and I'm going to show you some of my very first posts in 2015, no idea what I was doing, and they weren't great in the beginning, and that's okay. You learn as you go. We really want you to think about social media as your storefront and to have fun with it, right? Not every post is going to be great, and that's okay, but we learn as we go. So first and foremost, be who you are and where you are in your journey. So are you a working mom or working dad? Are you a stay-at-home parent? Are you in the process of a transformation, or are you already fit? Are you a corporate employee who is building something on the side of their 9 to 5? Who are you? Speak to that person, right? And then write your posts and share on stories as though you're speaking to you before you started this journey. So you know who I talk to a lot? I talk to busy working moms because that was me. When I started this journey, obviously now I consider myself a work-at-home mom, not necessarily a stay-at-home mom because I still work from home and I very much love having a career and being financially independent. But I talked to those busy working moms who were like me, that had their kids in daycare, who were on what felt like the hamster wheel of life, where they were dropping their kids off at daycare and then going to work 40 hours a week and then picking them up and getting the kids fed and bathed, and then trying to be a good wife in between then and doing the grocery shopping and the cleaning and the laundry. And they just felt like, is this really my life? So that's who I talk to. Is it my life anymore? No, it's not. My life looks literally 180 degrees different than it did before. But that's who I talk to because that's where I was. And that was my pain point and that was my struggle. That may not be your story, and it's okay. You know, I also tell you, like, my transformation is my pregnancy to now. I never struggled with my weight prior to being, being pregnant. So I can't talk about the things that maybe somebody who's lost 20, 30, 50 pounds. I don't know that struggle, and I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. But I can talk about my postpartum journey, and I can talk about my ab separation that I had in pregnancy. So again, what I want you to think about is, who are you? Where are you on your journey? What were the struggles or the pain points that Beachbody has helped you, and talk about it. Because my goal is to attract more people who are like me. What's cool about social media is it connects you to people even more so now. I'm thinking about you, Christina. I think you're on here. I'm like, oh my God, she's so my person. We have so much in common. And it's like our paths would never have crossed if it weren't for social media. But when you show up authentically as you, your vibe really truly attracts your tribe. And I get to meet people that I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish we knew each other in real life, because I feel like we were meant to be friends. And that's what we want you to do. That's who we want you to post to. And then when we say add value, I'll be honest, when we first heard add value, that was like really stressful, because we're like, I don't know what that means. But don't overthink it. I'll be honest, we became like a walking Pinterest board. If you'll go back to 2015, we were spouting out facts, and we were sharing workout tips, and we didn't know what add value meant. And for some, that might be sharing recipes. People love that. Sharing different workouts, cool. If that's your thing. If it's not, that's okay. What ways can you specifically entertain, educate, or inspire others? If you're somebody who loves to cook, share recipes, right? Jessica will tell you she wants 5 ingredients or less, and it's usually just thrown together. She's not going to be somebody who's sharing a lot of recipes. And if they are, they're going to be very simple, because that's not her jam. Are you somebody who is a fashionista, loves clothes? I love online shopping. I feel like it's a hobby. It's what I love. You will see me in my stories share different things that I'm ordering, because it's a passion of mine, and I want to connect with other people who have things in common with me. That's me. Maybe you're somebody who's great at home decor. I love to follow home decor people. That is not my wheelhouse. I wish it were, but it's not. So I like to connect with other people. If that's what you're really good at, share it. Tap into your hobbies and natural habits, things that you already do and love. That is a part of you, because that is your brand. And again, every single day, you're going to see me showing up on stories. You're going to see me sharing my Shakeology. You're going to see me doing my workout. You're going to see my Energize, because that's part of me too. But that's not all you're going to see. You're going to see all the other aspects of me that makes me my brand. And that's what we want you to share as well. The last thing we want you to do is, like Jessica said, she just had that conversation with a girl who went and stalked her social media. It's important to know, if I were to come back and do an audit from this past week, would people know I have something for them to join? Do they know that I run online boot camps that are guaranteed to get you results, that'll teach you how to eat well in the most simple, basic way, and you can work out in the convenience of your home? Do people know that? Do they also know that they have an opportunity to get all of that and also earn additional income from home? So again, I know most of us are very brand new, but I like to do a weekly audit on Sunday nights, usually before our team calls, where I go back and look at my social media and be like, what did I post this week, both on my social media, just regular posts and in my stories? Would somebody know, if they were to just randomly pop on my feed, that I have something for them to join? All right, next up.
Okay, so let's talk about photos, because maybe you're looking at, and social media has definitely evolved, especially on Instagram, and you see, okay, how do I take photos, because I feel like it's overwhelming. I feel like I need a real camera, and I feel like I need to do all these things. You don't. You can do everything that you need to do with your phone. So all you need is a phone, and all you need is practice. Most important thing you get out of this call, just practice. You may see that Raquel and I post our workout videos every day, and you're like, I don't even know how to do that. What does that even mean? How do you do that? First of all, you don't need to do that. If that's not your thing, if you don't like posting workout videos, don't. Raquel and I are former group fitness instructors. So taking a video and jumping around in front of the camera is literally nothing to us, because we've just done it for literally years. However, people do love to see you moving and doing the workouts, but you can use apps. So there's 2 video apps that are very easy to use. If you have an iPhone, you can use iMovie. You can speed it up and cut it. There's also Video Shop, which is an app, and you can use that to speed up your videos or slow them down or splice them and cut them. And I know that sounds fancy, but I promise I am the dumbest DUMB when it comes to technology. If I can figure it out, anyone can. And once you practice with these things, how to take a photo, how to do a video, you're going to be 1,000 times better. Every day you see my workout video with Caleb and his crazy socks. Literally, I prop my phone up in the corner of the room, just like this, and it's facing us this way. I press go on the video, and I just let it go for about 10 minutes for whatever workout we're doing. And then after the workout later, when I have time, the kids are distracted, I'll go through, pop it into one of these apps, and I edit it, and then I'll post it on social media. That is literally how I'm doing that. Same thing for your photos. Just paying attention to how you're taking them helps a lot. So being very well lit helps so much. So anytime you're taking a photo, whether you're doing selfie mode like this or you're setting a timer, I didn't know there was a timer for a long time, but on your phone you have a timer. Do a 10-second timer, set the phone in a window seal, which you'll see next. We'll show you an example, and then you step back so it doesn't look like a selfie. You've done it on a timer and the phone is against a lighted window, and then boom, you already have a really beautiful bright photo of whatever it is that you're trying to showcase. And then you can always use an app like Facetune, VSCO. Lightroom is my favorite to use because you can actually get what's called a preset. You can get a preset for $5 on Etsy. You drop it into your Lightroom app, and then you have the same preset for all of your photos. So if you're really drawn to those bright, crisp photos, get a preset that matches that. And then the photo that you took in your window, boom, it's already beautiful, but let's really make it pop. I'm gonna show you an example of that next. Really make it pop so that when I'm on social media, you know the difference when you're scrolling of when you see those photos, you're scrolling, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what was that? That photo really caught my attention. Maybe it was the way the photo was taken, maybe it's what the photo was of, but it's always usually a bright, eye-catching photo. Again, same thing when you're going into a boutique. Are you more drawn when you step in and it smells great and there's beautiful lighting and there's lots of color everywhere? Or are you going to go into a dingy, dark boutique and be inspired? You want to have that light, bright, airy feeling that's going to pull people into your page to see what are they talking about and give them a reason to read your caption. So the photo is the first stopping point. That's your front door. That's your outside billboard that gets them to come into your shop. And the caption is what actually makes them stay and purchase and realize what you're all about. So utilizing your timer, making sure that you're using the light wherever you are, going outside and taking photos. Don't do the same position every time, because if I go onto your Instagram, I want to see some versatility. What do you do? I want to see full body. I want to see close up to your face so I can see who you are. Maybe I want to see you in cute casual clothes and doing something in a workout. Don't feel like you need to do the same thing, because if you're doing the same pose over and over and over, that doesn't give me a reason to kind of stop and see what's going on. Like Raquel said, she loves fashion. So for her to post up a picture in just one of her cute outfits that she's purchased or she's bought and she can talk about, that's adding value on her social media. It gives me a reason to stop by and see what she's doing because the photo is cute, the outfit is cute, and I'm thinking, I don't know what she's doing, but I love her clothes. That gives me a reason to come back every day. What's she gonna wear today? And then randomly she talks about coaching. Okay, now I want to hear a little bit more about that. I love her style. I'm sure I love the kind of business that she's running. So you're just building a community, you're building a brand, and giving people a reason to come in to your storefront. So don't get overwhelmed by anything we talked about. There's also some props you can use to help. There's like, I don't have it with me, but there's a little tiny, oh, here we go, a little ring light. So you see this one is a really tall ring light. You don't need this when you first start. This is extra. There's a tiny, tiny version of this. It's literally like this tall. You can pack it in your purse and it just brightens it up. So if you're not in a place that has a great window, you don't have outdoor lighting, or maybe you're in a room that doesn't have, or you're doing your workout early in the morning, you can turn on that light and then take your photo with the light behind the camera. And that's gonna really brighten it up. If you see here the example, so here, this is just me using natural lighting. I have a lot of big windows in my house, and that brings in a lot of natural light. So the photo is really nice and bright. Like if you look at me right now on the screen, I'm really in a dark room. So this is like a dark cinder block cabin. There's no lighting at all. I would not post on social media a photo that looked this dark. But if I went over here, you can see if I come over here by the window, you see how much brighter it is. And this is just because I just put the camera up in front of a door. So that's the difference between you being interested in being like, ooh, that's really bright and pretty versus I'm in a dingy cave. And then you'll see Raquel over here, the presets that I was talking about. Again, they're like $5 on Etsy. You pop them into your app that's called Lightroom. And this is the difference between the left and the right photo. You can see the picture on the left is perfect. It's cute. I'm like, okay, she loves Texas. I love Texas. We're already connecting. She's a cute girl. I want to see what she's doing. But the photo on the right, it just has that little extra something that makes you want to come in. And when your newsfeed is filled with so much junk, it's nice to have that edge that pulls you in and makes you feel a little more professional, makes you feel like, yes, you're doing something on social media. You're not just posting to post. You've got something that I need to learn. And that's what we really want you to be after.
All right, so we talked about the photo quality. And again, don't stress about this. We will help you. We will teach you. If Jessica and I can figure out how to do this, anyone can, because we are not tech savvy. But now we want to talk about your captions and the content and what you're actually saying with this cute picture. So what we really want you to think about is that first line should catch someone's attention. We kind of call it like a hook, right? So we want to make sure that if they read that first line, it's enough that they're like, I want to keep reading. I want to catch their interest. I want to spark their curiosity where they want to keep reading. So quick way to do that is short and sweet one-liners. Jessica's really great at this. An example would be diamonds were a girl's best friend and then yoga pants happened, right? Or you can take it to what we call negative wording. I never, and notice that never is all caps. You can bold it as well. I never thought I would feel comfortable in my own skin. And then it's like, oh, but does she now? And how? You know, it makes you want to be like, well, what does she feel like now? Ask a question, right? That's a great way to connect to somebody. Have you ever felt like you had no control over your life? I feel like right now with all the crazy chaos that is happening in the world, there would be a lot of people that's like, yes, me right now. I relate to that. I want to keep reading. Using emotional power words. I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. Again, it intrigues you like, well, what was she doing beforehand? What is her secret now? What does she know that I don't know? And then talking in numbers, 21 days ago, I was not the same person. So again, using a variation of these is just helpful, just in that first line to just hook them in where they want to continue reading the rest of what your caption has. We always say end with a call to action, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like join my boot camp or apply to be in my coach mentorship. It can just be an engagement builder, because remember, we are creating a brand. And ideally, we're creating a community of like-minded people who relate to you. So if you're inviting them, learn how they can join or learn more. So drop a heart below if you want more details. I'd love to send them over. Drop a heart, super easy, right? If it's a lifestyle post, we'll show you an example here. Ask a question that relates to your content. So great. People love to give their opinions. If I've learned anything in the 5.5 years of posting online, people love to give you their opinions. So ask them, right? They want to feel connected to you. It's a great way to build that community. They feel like they're a part of your life when you ask for people's opinions. So that's a great way too to end with a call to action. Again, the goal is to create a community where people feel like they're a part of your life. They feel like they know, like, and trust you. And it doesn't necessarily have to always be about health and fitness. It can be about other aspects, because when they know, like, and trust you, and then when they're ready to work on their health and fitness, you're going to be at the top of their mind. Now, I will tell you, captions. Social media is always changing, right? We want to ideally share your story, always sharing a story, but you don't necessarily have to write a book. Like I said, if you were to go to look at Jessica's social media compared to mine, Jessica is so great at writing shorter captions. I don't know how she fits it in the least amount of words, but she nails it. And she'll tell you she does that because she's not someone who wants to read a long caption. Like, that's just not her jam. So she knows how to condense it. Now, if you come to my page, oh, I love to write the long captions. I like to tell a story. I like to bring you in. That's my style. I love to read those. So that's how I post. So I would just encourage you, when you're writing your captions, think, how would I want to receive it? Are you somebody who likes to read long captions? Are you somebody who just wants it bullet pointed out so it's easy on the eyes? Do you want little short 3 or 4 sentences? What's your style? Because again, you're posting to you and people like you. So here are some examples. So on the left, we have Jackie, who's a coach on our team, and she's sharing a transformation. We'll talk about how to post those transformations too, so that it's easy on the eye, but you'll see her before photo is on the left, her after is on the right. People read left to right. Always make sure they're side by side. Her, even just the way she's angled, pretty much similar. Her, you always want to make sure if you're standing in one, you want to be standing in the other. If you're wearing a sports bra or bikini in one, you want to make sure that it's pretty similar in the other one too. Here's her first caption though. If there's anything my mama ever taught me, it was that my body is beautiful no matter what I put on, right? So it's like, oh, I love that. And then you'll see, but what I never felt was healthy when I looked at myself in the mirror. I was so lost when it came to getting results and basically gave into believing I was meant to look this way forever. Salads turned into midnight snacking, cheat days turned into cheat weeks, calorie counting turned into starving. I felt like I kept digging holes and couldn't get out of them. Sound familiar? Yes. So do you see how she pulls you in? There's so many women who can relate to what she just said, right? It's like, yes, we know our mama ever told us we're always beautiful, but at the same time, she just didn't feel healthy. And here's where she was struggling. There's so many people that are like, oh my God, yes, me too. And then they want to keep reading. And that's when she talks about my virtual boot camp. Here's what I offer. Here's how it helps. And then her call to action. If you're ready to find something that will help you look in the mirror and say, damn, I do look healthy and strong, drop a sunshine below and let's get added to our amazing community of positivity and self-love. So she pulled you in. She related to people who were where she was in that before picture. And then she had a very specific call to action at the bottom, right? And I think dropping an emoji or something super easy is easy for people to do. I'll be honest, I'm not someone who usually before coaching ever commented on people's things. So if it was something super easy, I probably would have dropped an emoji because that feels like not too stressful, right? Okay, example on the right. Here's just a lifestyle post. You see Jessica just taking a quick selfie in the mirror. And her first caption says, I'm not 14 and I will not fall into the tie-dye trend, I whispered as I clicked add to cart, right? And it's like, oh my gosh, yes, who hasn't fallen into the tie-dye trend, right? We actually learned out later. You'll see this actually got a lot of engagement. And as she ended it by saying, please tell me I'm not the only one who caved on tie-dye life. Okay, again, that was her call to action. It had nothing to do with the business. She's just engaging people with what she's wearing, and it kind of took off. And I think have like 68 comments, things like that. And we learned out it's actually not tie-dye. I think it's like acid wash or whatever, but people love to get their opinions, love to feel a part of what you're doing. And again, it's just her building that community, engaging people in that. Now, I will tell you, you'll see that she has a lot of likes and a lot of comments. And it's easy as a brand new coach to be like, dang, like I get like 3 likes, right? Trust and believe, we still some days have posts that don't get very good likes, and that's totally fine. It still happens 5.5 years in. But when we started, we would get 3 likes. And it would usually be, I knew I could get one from Jessica, from Genevieve, and my mom. Okay. And I was like, I know I'm going to get at least 3 because it's going to be like these people in my corner. And it's okay. Don't stress about the likes and the comments. That if I could give you one piece of advice is don't care about that. Continue to show up, continue to add value, share your true authentic self, and you will attract people who are just like you. And there's going to be people who will never like or comment ever on your post, but they're reading it. I always talk about Rachel Johnstone, who's one of my most successful coaches now, never liked, never commented. She was in our challenge groups, didn't even participate really, right? But she was always watching and reading the things that we were posting. So just know when I go to make a post, I always think in my head, God, let whoever needs to read this, let it serve them today in whatever way they need it, right? And I just know in my head, it doesn't matter how many likes, it doesn't matter how many comments, somebody who needed this today is going to read it and be served by it. And that's really what she wants you to think about. All right. Jess.
Okay, so now when you're posting, you're thinking about, okay, what is my brand? Who are the people that I'm talking about? Really, again, think about who are you and what is your season of life. Now, predominantly in your feed, think about the people that you love to follow. We talked about the Power Hour. When you're looking for your future community people and you're kind of searching and networking and adding those new people into your feed, you're looking for people that are like you. They're in your season of life. However, those accounts that you love to follow, those bloggers or whoever they might be, 90% of the time, it's them as the main subject. Whether it's their outfit, it's their home, whatever their brand is, 90% of it is that main subject is the person. Because while you love your kids, no one loves your kids as much as you. While you love your dog, no one loves your dog as much as you. So if you're going to really have your dogs or your kids be part of your brand, it has nothing to do with the amount of love that you these things. However, make sure you're part of it as well. So yes, you can post pictures of your kids and your dogs and your things, but try to be in it with them, or at least don't do it all the time. You know, definitely you're going to see pictures of baby Lou, you're going to see pictures of Corey and Nolan because they're a big piece of my life, obviously, but every post is not a picture of my kids. A lot of it has to do with me being in the photo as well. Or I'm talking about food, or I'm talking about whatever it else might be, but you don't want to just, you want to be careful about how you're showcasing, so that, again, when I were to look back, if I were to do a week audit and I looked at the last 7 posts that you did, you might have one that was of your kids or of your dogs or of something that wasn't related to you and the brand that you're building. So remember, you're letting people into your world. This I cannot stress enough. People cannot get to know you through social media if you're not talking. So stories has been a powerful piece in social media. Like Raquel talked about, likes and comments on your photos mean nothing. And literally, the amount of followers that you have mean nothing. There are plenty of people that have thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. That doesn't mean that their business is stronger. You can have just as strong a business or stronger with 1,000 followers. And that is the honest truth. So the numbers game, don't wrap yourself up in it because it doesn't matter. But whether you have 100 followers or 10,000 followers, you've still got to show up in a way that people can get to know you. And using stories with you physically talking is a huge way for people to come into your life. It's easier for you to share personally about your stories, your struggles, your triumphs, your workout. How does it feel? Man, I got up this morning. I've got day 3, today's upper body. I'm not going to lie to you. I am super freaking sore from lower body that happened on Monday, but I'm loving the energy I have after I get my workout done. Saying something as simple as that comes across so different when I'm actually speaking, and you get to know, how do I talk? If you follow me, or if you didn't know me beforehand, you know that I have a random British accent. It just comes out sometimes. It's very awkward. But if you are also a person who just enjoys like living the lighter sense of humor style of life, you're going to connect to me. If you're somebody who does not like to joke around, you're not sarcastic, you are not going to connect to me at all. But if I did not speak and show my true personality on social media, you wouldn't have that. Hopefully, for those of you that are already on here, that if you've met me in real life, I want to be the same person on social media that I am in real life. So don't ever feel like your social media needs to be perfect. Own your truth. Ask the questions. Get involved in your community the same way you would if you were speaking to them in person. Definitely during all this like mayhem, I always think like people get very brave behind social media because I think they can build a wall with social media and they can be somebody who they really aren't. They can be this perfect person, or they can be more bold than they think they should be. But social media should be who you already are. You're just sharing it with people that are on the other side of the screen. So talk to the old you from a week ago or the old you from 5 years ago, doesn't matter. I started this. When I started, I just wanted to feel better. I just wanted more energy so I could keep up with my job. I just wanted more energy so I could keep up with my kids. And 3 weeks into this, I've already noticed such a shift in the way that I feel. That's something you can put in a post. That's something you can talk about on stories, because you're talking to the old you who's watching and listening to you and thinking, all I want is energy. I talk about energy so much on my post because that's a huge reason why I work out. Yes, aesthetics are very important to me. I'm not gonna lie. I wanna look good in a bikini. Let's be clear about that. However, more than anything, I hate the feeling of being tired. I hate being tired because I have 3 kids to chase and they don't care if I'm tired. They're going to get their butt up at the crack of dawn anyway, and they're going to run rampant until 8 o'clock at night. So I want to feel happy and energetic and confident when I go into those days. And me taking care of myself, eating food that doesn't make me feel like I'm dragging, doing workouts that are 30 minutes, I can get it done quick and be done, gives me so much energy and so much life to chase my kids. So I talk about that because I'm talking to the old me, who is that mom who feels tired and lethargic all day, or the old me before I even had kids, when I was at work all day and I would just feel drained and I would just feel like frustrated. It was because I wasn't taking care of myself. So I'm talking to that person, and you want to do the same thing. And again, it doesn't matter how far you are into your journey because you are that far ahead of who you're pulling on. Whether it's 2 weeks or 2 years, you are that far ahead of the person who needs you the most. So talk about your excuses and how you conquer them. Early mornings. If you're not an early bird, but you have to be an early bird to either work your business or get your workouts in, talk about that. Why did you overcome it? For the first 3 years of this business, the only time I could work this business was up at 5 a.m. and after my kids went to bed. I hate getting up early with a fiery passion. I still get up early now because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to get it in, because this season of 2020, I realized way back yonder was training me for this year, because I have to get up early and I have to stay up after the kids go to bed and work, or my business is not going to continue to thrive. And that's what I'm really passionate about. So I talk about that. Do I like to get up early? No. Do I feel 1,000 times better and have a lot better productivity in my day if I do get up early? Yes. So I overcome that obstacle because it makes me a better person. And then what are you looking forward to in your business, in your health and fitness journey? Talk about that so people can be on the journey with you and see you crush it. I've talked about in my stories and on my posts, I'm really excited for this next program because I'm going to lose my last 10 pounds of baby weight. I know my body, and about 6 months postpartum, my hormones will shift and I'll be able to shed it. For me, breastfeeding, I'm not the person who can eat whatever I want and breastfeed. Like, my body just doesn't do that. It doesn't participate in the game. It like missed the memo, whatever. But I know that now. And I also know that I've got 10 pounds to go before I feel like I'm back to myself. And I'm not scared to talk about that. There's a lot of self-love, and I'm all for self-love. But I also know my butt's going to have to work. It's just not going to fall off. I'm going to have to go get it. And I put that out there and I talk about it because A, it holds me accountable. And B, you bet your bottom, you're going to see those 10 pounds come off. And when they do, I'll get to share and say, yes, I did it. I'm so proud of myself. I worked my butt off and here it is. Same thing financially. When I started this business, I didn't really know what I wanted out of it, to be completely honest. I just needed something. I was in a fog. I didn't know what was happening in my life. I just needed control. And then I started making money and I started setting goals. My first goal was to pay off $27,000 in student loans. It was a very precise number and a very precise goal. And I will never forget the day that I called and paid off $27,000 in one full sweep from coaching. I will never forget it. I wrote it down on a piece of paper and I posted about it. And I posted the exact number. It was like 27,213 and some change. And I paid the whole thing off and I posted about it because I set that intention. I talked about this is what I'm after with this side business, because I was working 2 other jobs at the time. But this money was going to pay off that debt, because that debt I was terrified was going to follow me forever. And the day I paid it off, I shared about it because that was me setting the intention, holding myself accountable, taking people through the journey and showing it was possible. And that is what you're doing. So the subject is you, the journeys are you, the struggles are you, but you really got to let people in. The more that you're surface level, the less people connect. The more you dive into who you really are and what you're really overcoming, the more you're going to have people be like, yes, that's me too. Because there's a lot of people I know that are out there that also have student debt and are like, yes, if you can pay it off, I can pay it off. And that's what we're doing every single day we show up on social media.
All right. Now, I just wanted to let you know, I just talked about it earlier. You're not going to get it right at the beginning all the time, and that's okay. It is a learning process. I'm just going to share my embarrassing stories with you just to let you know we all start somewhere, and we most of the time don't know what we're doing in the beginning. My first post to the coach is on the left. All the things we would never recommend you do, posting the Beachbody logo with just products and my Beachbody coach link. No, please don't do any of this. Bless my heart, I didn't know better. I had no training. I was just excited. Another example here is back in the day when we did DVDs and we didn't have Beachbody On Demand streaming, I took a photo with P90X, P90X2, and P90X3, and I was very excited. Now, I will tell you, while I would never recommend any of you do any of these things, it actually didn't turn people off because I was so excited, enthusiastic about what I was doing. You don't have to be great at social media, but if you can be excited about this and share with that enthusiasm, that will still attract people to you. It doesn't have to be perfect, but your energy behind what you're doing, people can feel. And I just want you to let you know that too. We're not expecting you to be perfect. That is a learning process. We have learned and we've grown, and it's been a mess in the beginning, but you will get better. But share with just enthusiasm. Let's just continue this. Yes. We want to focus on creating curiosity and not resistance. This picture on the left, again, bless my heart, I got like a purple border, a box of Shakeology, serving it up, basically saying, here, I'm trying to sell you something. Again, you can tell I'm smiling big because I'm very excited about Shakeology, but I would not ever encourage any of you to recreate this picture. This, people know exactly what it is. I'm trying to sell them Shakeology. Okay, it's creating kind of a resistance of like, no thanks, I'm not interested. Whatever you're selling, I'm not into it. Versus the picture on the right, I've got a same thing, Shakeology, but in cute little mason jars with little reusable straws. It's two girls outside. We're laughing about who knows what. It's a little bit different where you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Like, what are they drinking, right? Again, creating that curiosity, not resistance. This picture on the right actually did create engagement, not necessarily with Shakeology, but like, oh my gosh, where did you get those mason jars? And oh, I love that rug that you have for your outdoor furniture. Again, I'm creating community. But I was talking about Shakeology, but I did it in a better, more engaging way. So I share these things with you basically just to show you you won't get it right in the beginning. Our job as your business mentors is to help you not make the same mistakes we did. If you're ever not sure on a picture or a pose, post it in our message pod. That's what we're here for. We'll help you edit it. We'll be like, oh, well, maybe this angle would be better. Or your caption, I would say it like this. That's totally okay. As you're learning and as you're growing, lean into us, lean into your coach, lean into our community, and we would love to help you. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about is when you're posting transformations. Again, our number one job as a coach is to focus on ourselves. Your main focus this month as a new coach is to get yourself results, hands down. If you do nothing else this month, I want you to focus on yourself where you can get results that you can share with enthusiasm. This picture on the left is Rachel. Her, again, before goes on the left, after goes on the right. We read left to right. Let's not make it confusing. What I love here is she even used the same color scheme, right? So she's in that red tank top on the left, same thing on the right. You can see a noticeable difference. Same thing, she has her head heights around the same. If you're only showing from the waist up in your before, then only show from the waist up in your after. We want to make it as seamless as possible for people to see. I also suggest only 2 pictures. While it's amazing that if you have a great side-by-side and maybe behind photo, when it gets to be a collage of more than 2, it's just hard to read on the eyes. With Instagram, you have like the swipe through feature where you can do like a front and then you can do side-by-side. That's cool. But if at all possible, keep it to 2 pictures instead of a huge collage. On the right, we have another coach, Caitlin. This is such a great photo. I love it. She's kneeling in both photos, taking a mirror selfie in both. And she's just sharing her before again on the left and after on the right. But what's great, we should have probably put the captions. More than this, people can look at the picture and be like, dang, wow, that looks awesome. But we want you to tap into the emotion. How were you feeling in the first pic? What were your thoughts? Had you tried things and weren't successful? Were you discouraged? Did you not recognize yourself? Where were you in the before? And how do you feel now? Because really we buy from an emotional place. This is awesome. Show me how you got those results. But people really want to feel like, oh my gosh, I totally relate to what she just said. I was that before. I feel that way now. And I would love to feel how she does now. So again, with transformations, I would encourage you, if you were to do an audit, at one quick scroll, you should see a transformation in your feed somewhere. I think that's important. We're in health and fitness. This is what we do. We are in the I call myself a transformation coach. You should be posting transformations. We do have a transformation album in Team VIP where coaches on our team have shared transformation. If they're in the album, you are more than welcome to share any of those transformations and just be talking about a coach on our team or part of my team. Look at her. You can totally brag on anybody in this, but your own personal transformation is extremely, extremely powerful. So I would encourage you, if you have one to share, definitely share it because it really does mean a lot. All right, we're getting lengthy, but we will wrap it up as quick as possible, you guys.
Okay, so this right here is just to kind of help you get rolling. So we've talked about all the kind of tactical tips and tricks and how to start, but I know in the beginning it can be like, what do I say? I don't know how to start. And you sometimes get paralyzed because you're just like, I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna do nothing. That is the worst thing you could do. You've got to get going. And the only way to get more comfortable with social media and the only way to get yourself out there is to practice. So this right here is kind of, think of it like a bingo card. This is just example posts that you can do. Just print it off or take a screenshot on your phone and literally cross them off. Make sure you get through all 30 of these, and then try to get through all 30 of them within like the next 30 to 40 days. Give yourself some grace there, but just force yourself to get rolling. And to make your life easier, the things that you post about, so let's say you're going to do why you became a coach post. So you're going to talk about that. You're going to do a story beyond that. You cross that off. The day that you post about it, I also want you to go in and talk about it in your stories. So the same day that you post, I want you to talk about it in your stories. And remember, with stories, they're only live for 24 hours. So if you sound like a complete fool, and I promise you, you're going to be the worst and the hardest critic on yourself. No one else is going to judge you in that way. It's going to disappear. And the only way to get better and more comfortable is to practice. So I really challenge you to follow this and just get it done. Just say, this is happening. I'm getting all 30 of these out in the next 40 days, no matter what. And to help you with wording, you will see in Unit 7 on the Team VIP page, you have a direct link to some social media examples. So social media, if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it literally will tell you, here is a post to invite to a challenge group. Here is a lifestyle post. Here is a coaching post. And we have direct examples that you can follow. Look at the wording just to kind of get your wheels spinning and to get your creativity flowing. Definitely make it sound like you and sound like who you're talking to, but just to give you a takeoff point so that you're not spending time overthinking it, because that can be what stops you, and you don't want to do that. Also with social media, other random tips that will help you: bank up your content. Don't feel like you need to be in live with your stories. Like I was talking about earlier, I take my video of my workout while we're doing it. I may not post that for 2 or 3 more hours or 4 or 5 more hours, depending on my day and what happens. But I've got the content baked up, and then you'll see it later when it happens. Rarely do you see on stories what's happening live in my life. It's usually delayed, or it's a different time of day, or even a different day. So don't stress yourself out about, I don't have time because I'm at work, or I don't have time because of this. Get your content, save it, and then when you've got time to sit down and put it out, put it out. Another great thing is when you're looking good, you've got a cute workout outfit on, or you've done your hair and makeup, because that's a rarity these days, sure. Go outside, take some photos, change your shirt a couple times, change your outfit, change your pose, do whatever, bank those photos up, and then use them later on. So that maybe you're having a day and you're in your sweatpants and you don't feel like getting out, but you need to get a great inspiring post up. Use a picture from last week. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be today that you're posting today. That used to really stress Raquel and I out. We'd be like, oh, I don't have something to say today, or I don't have a picture for today. Why? It doesn't need to be from today. You're banking up content. You're a business. So you're using content. Doesn't matter when it came from. You want your content to relate to your caption. You want it to make sense, and you want it to fall into your brand. That's the only rule. And the only thing we care about is that you're excited. If you're happy and excited on your stories and in your post content, people will naturally be attracted to you. Casey asked in the chat, and this is a perfect question, to leave the product names out of your posts. Absolutely, you want to leave them out. Not because you're being weird, but because imagine yourself, if I see somebody post all the information and the post content, I am stranger danger. I'm the most awkward human you've ever met. I would much rather see, okay, she's using Energize. She got it from Beachbody. Instead of me reaching out to her personally, I'm going to go do a little Google I'm going to see that I can order it on the line, and I'm just going to order it without ever reaching out to that girl. And then I would have never found out that, hey, she also offers workout access. Hey, she also offers accountability groups and meal plans. And I would have just floated off into Beachbody land by myself without a coach, not even knowing that that was an opportunity. So that's why you want to do more curiosity, so that people can reach out to you and say, hey, what are you doing? And then you can say, hey, this is what I'm doing. I also offer XYZ if it's of any interest to you. So you can just kind of open the door, and then it gives them the opportunity to learn more about what you're doing. That can be with the business, Shakeology, your workouts, all that. And also Beachbody puts millions and millions of dollars into marketing. You don't need to help them. They got it. You market your business, your brand. Beachbody's taking care of their own. And then your job is just to partner with them and say, hey, I use their products because they're thebomb.com. I run with their business because they take care of so much of the drama for me in the business world. You handle that on the backside within your messages. But if you lay it all out there on the post and in your stories, they have no reason to reach out to you in the first place. Okay, let's open it up for questions. I know that was a firestorm of information coming at you. There's also in the chat box social media guide. Raquel just put the direct link in case you want to save it and use that kind of bingo card for your first 30 posts.
So Brooke asked, what's a Coach Breadcrumb post? You'll see it, examples in that link that I just put in the chat. But basically, it's just talking about the benefits of coaching and why you love it without a direct join my team, right? So it's kind of like, we love it, here's why, it's awesome. And you're just sharing like the benefits of what's so great about it without really coming in hard. So it's important that you do actual call to actions of, I'm opening up a mentorship. This is what it's done for me. It's amazing. And I'm excited to pay it forward. Those are important, but it's also just nice to breadcrumb what you love about coaching in general. And I would say the same thing for your challenge group. You do hard call to actions over challenge groups, but it's also nice to be like, I love this community that I'm in. We're sharing recipes, we're sharing our results. It's incredible. And you're just sharing what you love about it. Just like you would share, like I said, like I love fashion, I share what I love. I'm not necessarily always saying, come buy this product, but I'm sharing what I love. So that's kind of what that means. We have a ton of examples in there. There's different links that VIP social media will give you a ton of examples. And then also in Unit 7, we literally have weeks for you. Like week 1, it'll tell you Monday, challenge group invite, Tuesday, engagement boost, Wednesday, workout inspiration. Like it'll lay out exactly for what you to do. That helped us in the beginning because we had no clue what we were doing in the beginning of when we were posting. So sometimes for us, we're like type A. It's really nice to have it like laid out so there's no thinking, okay, here's what I'm talking about today. Cool. But if you have questions on anything social media, please let us know. We would be more than happy to help you, help with your captions, help with your pictures as you're growing and learning. Cool. Any other questions? No? And mainly just have fun with it. Like social media is so fun. I've literally met people that I never would have met in real life through social media. And that's really cool. It's just really awesome. The ability to just reach different people from all over that normally you wouldn't have the ability to do that.
100%. Have fun. Don't take yourself too seriously, but be consistent because the only way to feel better is to practice. And like, if you look at Raquel and I's social media, like we are not social media wizards. We don't have perfect feeds. We're not Instagram aesthetic pleasing thing, like we are who we are and we have fun with it. And so don't feel like, man, I need to become like this incredible influencer. Like you don't. You can literally grow an incredible, crazy business, make $1 million without ever blowing up your social media. Be who you are with the people that are at your table, and you're going to do incredible. Okay, any questions before we pop off? Good to go. All right, awesome. Well, it was so great chatting with you gals today. Have the most fabulous day, and we will see you on the social. I'm looking for you. Bye-bye.